Maybe I'm taking Zanene. Happy 18th week from mommy and baby. Anyways, happy Sunday, everybody.
Hey world, hey peeps, how you doing?
Welcome back to our channel and the second episode of our baby number 2 pregnancy.
The Expectancy mini-series. Alright, thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking, thanks for all the comments and the congratulatory messages. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alright, so we're going to jump right back in and pick up where we left off. We started last week sharing with you about shoulder dystocia. Oh, and this is the guy, this is the little man, this is Expectancy. He is all of, how much?
7.
Yeah, he's all of 7 years now. So he's been 7 years on, and his shoulder is totally fine. But that's 7 years on. Let's get back to the story.
We might have mispronounced the word, and it's actually shoulder dystocia, baby. There's no R in it.
Yeah, dystocia.
So it's shoulder dystocia.
Not dystocia.
Right. So you can look it up and you'll see what it means for yourself. But the synopsis of a shoulder dystocia. Right, so we're going to tell people what happened to your shoulder, alright? So in layman's term, it's basically a birth trauma that a pregnant mother in the delivery room would go through would experience. So it's a birth trauma. And so last week we said, I was not dilating past 8 centimeters, and so I had to push very hard. As my midwife said, Latoya, you have to push like you're a mad woman. And so I did 4 big pushes and he was out. Notwithstanding the tears that I got that had to be sewn up because of the 8 centimeters dilation. So all that drama I went through. And he came out. He wasn't crying at first. We were wondering what was happening. Doctors had to do their thing and then he started crying. So he came out silent. Very silent baby, no sound at all. So you can imagine the distress that he was under.
Yeah, like scarily silent. Because before he came out, the amniotic sac actually broke on the inside, and that was part of the reason why they needed to rush the process so much. And then of course, because she wasn't fully dilated, essentially the shoulders were too wide to allow him to come out. So in the process, and of course we found this out later, like a month later?
Well, it was his grandma who found
right,
out.
Well, now we'll get to that. Yeah, so in order to get him out so that he doesn't suffer oxygen deprivation, they actually had to break his shoulder to get after his head came out, to get the rest of his body out. They had to break the shoulder, and that's actually something that happens quite often. I don't remember who now, but one of those who watched the video actually said that she had that same experience. And so solidarity to you, thanks for sharing that comment.
Right, so we thought it was something normal that doctors do when the babies can't come out, whether you're fully dilated or not. That is a normal procedure to break the shoulder. I mean, you can say it's somewhat normal to save the baby's life, but then the parents would need to be informed of what they did and how it works and how to care for it.
And we were not informed.
We were not informed. Our midwife told us that she did put it in the report, but the doctors did not come to my bed and explain to me that, mommy, this is what we had to do,
right.
And so therefore we have to care for that particular part of his body separately.
Yeah, that didn't happen. We didn't know. So fast forward to about a month or maybe about 6 weeks after. Just about 6 weeks.
When his grandma was babysitting him, she felt a lump in his shoulder and she said, Latoya, this is not normal, I need to check this out. And he was crying, so he was crying non-stop and we couldn't figure out why the baby was just crying all of a sudden for nothing at all. And then it was at that point my mom felt the bump in his shoulder and said, you need to check it out. I did bring him to the hospital, but first I told the midwife what happened, and she said yes, she had to do so, and she did put it in her report, and it was the doctor's responsibility to tell us that that is what happened. They
did not.
Had to break his shoulder to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was a scary couple of hours, you know. But we brought him to the orthopedic surgeon, and luckily they said it was healing all by itself, and there was no need to worry, and the bump will eventually go away.
Yeah, and it did.
And it was not until I went to a specialized OBGYN this time around, because we decided that we're going to do things differently for this pregnancy.
Right.
I wasn't going in a public space where so many doctors had access to me, and so I was just getting different information and different diagnosis, and just one drama and a ring around the rosy.
Yeah,
for
all
a
the trainees, you know, she was, I mean, literally, legit, she was like a guinea pig.
I was a lab rat.
Yeah, we spoke about the pregnancy-induced hypertension. So, and they were conducting this study, so we knew that she was a part of the study. But I mean, like, seriously, she was like a real lab rat, you know. This doctor, this trainee, this other doctor, this specialist, everybody's making their notes, everybody has different stuff to say. So that was a whole experience in itself.
So we decided to just pool the resources and say, hey.
From the get-go with this little one. And then of course with COVID, I mean, who wants to be all up in a public hospital every week? I mean, we had clinics. We had clinic every other week.
And then maybe remember, I wouldn't even have the luxury of that, because remember with Zaken, I was not working, so I was basically a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
But with everything changing now, being an employee, I had to change things, and so we decided just to get some one-on-one type of healthcare. And it was when I went to this doctor. She's super awesome, by the way. I won't say her name right now. She's super awesome, and she had to ask about the history, about the type of birth, any challenges, that I went through. And it was when I told her that they had to break his shoulder, she like dropped her pen and she was like, what? From the moment that happened.
Trauma. She said she just kept saying trauma over and over.
That this was a birth trauma.
And that's when she introduced us to the she told us
to shoulder dystocia. And we came and read about them like
shoulder what?
It was crazy, but our son is fine. And then the scary part of it, and the scary thing that I read about shoulder dystocia, is that it can lead to neurological problems.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Because your clavicle or whatever right here is somehow connected to your central nervous system, your spine. So I could have had a disabled child, a child in a wheelchair right now because of negligence. I can't put it any other way. It would have been negligence on the part of the doctors and the hospital for keeping this away from the family, from me. So we couldn't have had urgent attention then, because it would have been too late.
The left clavicle, because we didn't know. And as she said, thankfully, thank God, it had healed nicely and healed properly all by itself, and the lump did eventually go away. But we simply did not know, and so we would have had no way of knowing that, okay, this, now we know a normal procedure when there is that kind of trauma. But the clavicle is broken, and they would need to actually deal with that. The notation was made by the midwife. We were not told, we didn't know, and thank God his grandma noticed the bump. The grandparents, big up grandma, the grandparents always
feeling up the children, making up the noses and checking out everything, making up the noses, fixing the head. So she was doing her rounds basically, and she realized that something was off. Yeah, that was talk about that next time.
Don't worry about that one.
So for this week, in the next couple of days, we are going to find out the gender.
Oh my God! You know who can't wait, right?
Even though I said to him that I would want to keep it from him, so he will be a part of the guessing posse.
No. Don't bother that. That's not.
I did.
I'm gonna be all up in there,
right
there when that ultrasound is done, to know from that moment. And fellas, right? You realize I was like right there in that delivery room, right?
Yes. Yes.
But look, nothing can beat that experience of being there, actually seeing your child emerge.
Actually, it can be traumatizing for me because you were seeing my opening.
That's right. I heard of some men who legit faint at that moment. I don't know about that. I not diss nobody, I not judge nobody. But big man thing, that experience was priceless. And I mean, they better not try that this time around to try to say that I can't be there. I'm gonna be all up in there again.
Ladies, for those of you who, I was traumatized because I saw this man coming in the room and I was opened up like a book, and this baby was coming from inside of me and he was there staring at me. So if them never love your snatch before, that sight would have changed everything. Trust me. Because he didn't faint. He wasn't surprised.
Special moment.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so we're gonna be getting that ultrasound done this week. So that will indicate the gender. And we're trusting God that everything is gonna be fine. All thanks to God so far. It has been, relatively great so far.
Yes.
And we're praying that it continues to be that way. So stick around, stay tuned. Lots
gender
more to come.
reveal is coming up. Can you guess? Can you guess? Boy, girl.
Leave a comment on this video with your
pink blue.
with your guess, male or female of the gender. Alright, so see you next time. Peace out.
Yeah. It's gonna be pink. We'll see.
I know it's gonna be pink.